Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and to another episode of 7 Daws. If you don't know what that is, it's 7 days of Zodiac, 7 straight days of Zodiac videos in a row. Use the hashtag 7 Daws if you want to be a part of the conversation on social media. So today's video is basically going to be a video in which I ask a bunch of questions that I don't know the answer to on the topic of astrology to my dear friend Raven Rose Tarot. So basically we're collabing once again, and there's a lot of questions that you guys ask me that I don't know the answer to because I'm not an astrologer. Also, I know you guys are going to ask where this necklace is from because I haven't worn it in so long and you guys used to always ask me. It's my little Aquarius necklace. Oh, and I'm wearing my Zodiac shirt today in honor of 7 Daws. You're probably going to see this a couple times. Yeah, I got it from my website Zodiac Haven. So these necklaces are super cheap. I think they're like $9 or something like that. They're super cheap. We ship worldwide, so go order yourself one, zodiachaven.com. If you guys want to save money on it this week during 7 Daws, use the coupon 7 Daws. It's on the screen here. When making a purchase on zodiachaven.com, it will last for 7 days. So you can only use that discount code for the 7 days of Zodiac. So make sure to buy ASAP, okay? Anyways, enough talking. Let's get right into the video. Okay guys, so as I mentioned, I have Raven here today.
So my name is Raven. I am a tarot reader. I am also a medium and an empath, and I do astrology and tarot, and basically all kinds of forms of divination, channeling, scrying, all that good stuff. So you can order a reading with me at Raven Rose Tarot, and I talk about all kinds of deep shit, you know, so, and I'm also like, listen, if you a fuckboy, I will find the fuck out, okay?
That's good. Because some people, they need to hear that from someone else. Okay guys, so as I mentioned, what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be asking Raven all the questions you guys ask me that I don't know the answer to, and that I even ask myself, because there's lots of stuff that I don't know about astrology, but she studied it before, right? If I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, I've been studying it since like high school. So
yeah, so like, she knows a lot. So the first question I'm going to ask you that people ask me all the time: what are Venus signs?
So your Venus sign pertains to how you love or what kind of person you're attracted to. So when you think of Venus, think of like this literal goddess, the goddess of love. So that sign talks about how you are going to be in a relationship. So my Venus is in Leo. So love is very grandiose. I love romance. The cheesier, the better. And and the Virgo side of me hates it. But when it comes down to it, when he is doing flowers and playing music and shit, I'm done. Panties gone. It's all gone. Can I say shit like that?
Yeah, I don't care. So with Venus, so how would you find your Venus sign?
You would do a birth chart, and a birth chart is going to have, by the way, just a shameless plug, I do birth chart readings, and I also do a tarot card, so it's very specific, so you can check out my Etsy shop for that. But basically what you would do, there's a free birth chart that you can look up, and then it will show your Venus, your rising, your Mercury, all of that good stuff, and it will give you more in depth of what those aspects affect you in that way.
So if you had to guess my Venus sign, what do you think it would be, out of curiosity?
If I have to guess, I don't know. You're just so like I remember your love reading. It was so nonchalant. I would guess like Capricorn or some shit. Like it's just here, there, fuck it. Like,
oh my god.
I know you hate Capricorn.
I hate Capricorn.
It feels like when you were like. It like had the love vibration. You were like, "What the fuck is this?" Get the fuck away from me.
That's literally. I feel like that's also the Aquarius. I think both Aquarius and Capricorn are really weird when it comes to love. Just like awkward, you know.
If your Venus is maybe like in Capricorn or in Aquarius, or I would even say, just like, or even. Capricorn Aquarius especially, it feels very awkward sometimes when you're initiating that, you know, romance and having those feelings and that dialogue come up. It's especially awkward if, like, say your moon is in Capricorn. My moon is in Capricorn, so that's why it's so fucking weird. Because my moon is, like, very reserved, and the emotions are very internal, and I don't like to emote too much. But yet, I have a Venus in Leo, so it's very dramatic at times. So it's like, I tend to switch gears.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I want to do the birth chart, but I have to figure out what time I was born. Okay, so what is a house? I have no idea what the hell a house is. Everybody always asks me, like, I don't know.
So a house is basically, think of it as a pocket of energy, and it pertains to a certain facet of your life. So there are 12 houses, and each sign naturally rules a house. So starting with Aries, Aries is the sign of self. So that house, that pocket of energy represents the self, the ego, basically like that baseline identity. When you move on to Taurus, that represents finances and inheritance and material things, and that's where Taurus. That's why Tauruses are so fucking stingy and so fucking greedy. That's just how it is. Gemini is the house of communication, so that's why they're the talkers and they're the information gatherers. The fourth house, Cancer, that's home and family. So that's where usually where the mother is in most cases.
That's why they're all mama's boys.
So every Cancer is a mama's boy. I don't even care. I don't care. Like, it's just it. So the fifth house, I was after Cancer. Leo represents the house of creativity. So it's like, and it also represents the house of children specifically. So it's about that innocence. And Leos are naturally very creative, dramatic. So that's why they are usually as dramatic as they are, or as creative as you are. I know a lot of Leos, if they're not like dramatic, really, they're super introverted but super creative. Like, they create scripts, artwork, all kinds of cool shit, and that's why they are geared towards more entertainment.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. What about Aquarius?
And the sixth.
Oh, there's every house, every sign has a house.
But it's okay. Maybe like, because it would take forever. You can look it up. But Aquarius is the 11th house of organizations and people and structure. So this is about people at large. So this is why Aquarius is everybody's best friend, because you're emoting to not just one person, but almost like a collective consciousness, as you will.
That makes sense.
That's why it's like that. And that's why you tend to see Aquariuses do well in like leadership roles, and they tend to talk to a lot of people, and they make people feel like very at home. But it's not so much as the Cancer, where it feels very like inundating and very intimate. It feels like, oh, you just get me, and you tend to get a lot of people.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
If you're confused about your house, whatever, you can Google it, or if you can, like, in the comments, you want to say, hey, I'm a Virgo, what does that house represent? And I can tell you.
Oh, true. All the questions I can't answer, Raven can answer them. How would you define a cusp?
So in astrology, everything happens in degrees, because we're to latitude and longitude here. So when you're in between, and every sign has 30 degrees. When you get to that end between the 30 and the 1 degree, basically 5 degrees into the next sign and the other one, that's where it cuts. So that's when people tend to have traits related to both signs. Technically, with the way that my birthday falls, I'm a cusp between Libra and Virgo, actually. So, which makes a lot of sense, because I have a nonchalantness about me, because I am not organized whatsoever. But then when it comes to, like, say, meetings or things like I really care about, I can have a very, very detailed, razor-sharp focus. And it's like, okay, what does this mean? What does this mean? I'm analyzing folks too, but then it's like I'm a horrible decision maker at the same time, because I get inundated with the details. So that's where the Libra kind of falls in. So typically it's basically like between 1 and 5 days of like cutoff of the sign, someone would be technically considered a cusp.
So would I be a cusp? If I'm February 15th, am I a cusp?
I think you would, actually, because you do kind of have that more so, especially with the way that you write and stuff like that. Now, Aquarius are poetic too, but the way that Pisces work, it's very deep and very emotional.
And I feel like I relate to Pisces a lot. Like, I relate to, like I always say, Janae Aiko, like, I relate to so many Pisces a lot.
Yeah, so that does make sense. Now, some astrologers will say there's no such thing as a cusp, you're either this or that. I'm of the personal belief that you really can blend traits, and there's always some unique synergy with the signs that are next to you, and when that sun is in transit, you're going to get some of that feedback from the next sign over. Okay.
What is a Decan? I don't know what that is.
Decan?
Oh, okay. I've been saying it wrong the whole time. I've been saying like Deccan. Okay, Decan. What is a Decan?
So a Decan, so there are, like I said, 30 degrees. Each sign has so there are 3 basic spots in each sign. So there's like in intervals of 10. So in the first Decan, the best way to use is my example as a Virgo. So the first Decan of a Virgo, they're ruled by Mercury. So that's like Virgo. That second Decan of a Virgo, it's actually Virgo Capricorn, okay? So they're ruled by, I think, Uranus at that point. The third decan, which I'm actually ruled by Venus, and that's the Taurus influence. That makes me also a little bit more lovey-dovey and a little bit more concerned about finances and things like that. It also kind of transits into like Libra, who is naturally ruled by Venus. So each decan is basically how that sign is transitioning. So that's why you have certain Virgos, especially Virgos who are born in the middle and born at the end, totally different people depending on where that alignment is.
So that's why some, let's say for example, Aquarius, that's why some January Aquarius and February Aquarius can be different then, because it could be what decan they fall under?
Because I believe the way that it's structured, because it's basically because of the air quality, you're going to share qualities with other air signs. So I believe the first one is like what they would consider true Aquarius. By the time you get to the second decan, I believe it's been so long since I had to calculate it for somebody. But when you get to that second decan, I believe that it's going to reflect more on Gemini, and that last decan is going to reflect more of Libra.
It goes so much deeper than like sun signs. It's crazy. Like there's so much. Wow. So if you had to guess what sign I would work best with romantically, what do you think it would be?
Okay. Shit. I feel like for whatever reason, I feel like Virgo would work well for you because they're very intellectual. You could have that intellectual conversation, but they wouldn't like be so oozy with the romance. And Virgo tend to show their love in a very practical way. So I kind of feel like that. Of course, like Virgo can be very demanding sometimes, so that would get you. But I've seen Virgo and Aquarius work pretty well. Typically but you in specific, I also think that if it's the right kind of water sign, like I would say maybe. I would say like maybe kind of sort of Pisces, because I feel like you would just engage and you would just.
We have good deep talks. All my Pisces friends, I have good talks with them.
Like it would be overstimulation though. I feel like it would be like, oh my god, best conversation ever, and then it'd be like, okay, get the fuck away.
Like you're too emotional. Right now. They're so cheesy.
That's why I say like. So that's why I would say probably like a Virgo, only because Virgo is on the opposite end of Pisces. So that doesn't necessarily mean like they have that root of the intellectual and the spiritual conversation without being so overly emotional and emotionally clinging. So that's what I would say. I can see that.
I can see why you say that. What do you know about the 13th zodiac sign?
Okay, so Ophiuchus now. It depends on the school of thought.
I've been saying it so wrong. Sorry to cut you off. I say Ophiuchus.
So the basic thing is depends on school of thought. There are some people that believe that after a certain point there comes this new 13th sign that basically falls between Sagittarius and Capricorn. Adding a 13th, according to most astrologers, is pretty problematic and does not really add much detail into or make much difference in someone's personal astrology. So, for lack of a better way of saying it, it's just BS. Personally, I think it's BS because it's really related to, I think, some really individual form of astrology. I can't remember if it's Mayan or a different subset of Greek, but it doesn't basically encapsulate Western astrology as a whole.
So Raven just answered all the questions that I had. There's a couple more. If you guys have any questions that you want to know the answer to, then you could always check out her Etsy and you can get a hold of her and ask her some questions and maybe do a reading with her.
Okay, yeah. So if you have like really personalized astrology or tarot questions and you want a reading, then check out my Etsy store so I can give you a very individual, personalized overview of what's going on, those aspects that are affecting you. If you have general like astrology questions, like you want clarification on anything that I just said, feel free to leave a comment or just go to my Instagram and ask me a question on Raven Rose Tarot, and we can just have some fun there.
Okay, so all the information for Raven will be in the description box down below, so if you have anything that you're interested, go in the description box and click right there. Also, if you guys want an Aquarius phone case, necklace, or anything, zodiachaven.com. Once again, everything's down below. I had to plug myself too. Alright, thank you so much, Raven. Alright, bye. Alright guys, so that concludes the video. If you guys enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! Yeah.
Oh no, no. Yeah, I know the secret we share. Look what this feeling has done to